Why do I attract the men I don't want? Now, we all know, girls, how difficult it is sometimes to really hone in this attraction game. But I want to talk to you. If you are that girl who you go out with your friends and you look great, they look great, everybody looks great, or you just go out on a night out and you're feeling great, you're wearing your best dress, your hair, your makeup, you're feeling good, and all of the guys in the room that you think, hottie, none of them make a move. You always attract the weirdo, the loser, the one who is kind of the straggler, or the guy that nobody really wants to talk to her, or the players, or the users, or whatever, the narcissists. You kind of feel like you are the jerk magnet, like Julia Roberts says in Pretty Woman. Yes, I'm giving away my age. But for some reason, you are the one who forever attracts the jerks, or the low value guy. Nobody wants this guy, but he wants you, and he's so bold with it. You kind of think, oh God, why? Why, God? Whatever the case is, whether he's the guy that's at the car wash cleaning your car, or whatever you feel. I got a message from a girl, and she said to me, why do I always attract the waiter or the guy who's kind of parking my car, cleaning my car, and I never really get the attention I want from the guys that I want. And I'm an accomplished woman, and I should, because on the surface everything kind of reads well. So I know all about this because, and I believe that many of us have experienced this, and there are multiple reasons for that. But before I get into that, let me introduce myself to those of you who are new to my channel. My name is Chengi, and you, my precious one, of course, are my world. I know that I have been away for a bit, but I'm working on something ridiculously exciting. It's going to be a massive move and a massive shift for us as a community. So I am wanting to get it done perfectly, and sometimes it means I get overwhelmed and taken away. But I am thinking about you. I am on my Instagram, going live and keeping up with you and letting you know what's going on. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go do that, okay? And I would love for you to fill the survey in the link below, because I really want to know how to serve you, the things that you're struggling with. I want to create videos and content that is actually going to help you, not just stuff that I want to discuss. So please go to the link in the description below and fill in the survey for me. It's only going to take you 5 minutes maximum, but it's going to be so useful in me being able to serve you. And no, you won't be added to a mailing list or anything. You might get a thank you email back from me, but that'll be pretty much it. Moving forward, why is this happening to me, Chengi? Well, there are multiple reasons. Number one, there are guys out there who have been rejected all their lives, and they've got a good attitude about it. At least I think they do. There are two types of men that get used to being rejected. These were not the jocks of the school. They were not the hotties. These guys have always been in the B list. They've always been the guys that the girls are not necessarily chasing. And there are two types in that bracket. There's the type that kind of grows to hate women, resent women, is angry, who then grows up to become a dating coach for men or a toxic dating coach for women on YouTube. I've seen a lot of those, and they're just really kind of acting out their rejection from childhood. And then of course you get the kind of the one that figured out a way to get what they wanted. They kind of figured out a female psyche, and they kind of figured a plan that works for them. They know that they're not the guy that's going to be the first pick, but they made up a plan. And for some of these guys, the plan was the numbers game. Ask everybody and anybody, and one of them is going to say yes. And for a lot of these guys, it's just kind of, a numbers game. It's a little bit of fun. They kind of like it, but they're also deeply into the psychology. So some of it is just, it's going to happen to every woman. I don't think there's a woman who's ever lived, dated, and been single or even married who hasn't been approached by the most inappropriate guy, whether he's married or just inappropriate. It's just part of living in the world. It's just part of being a part of the community and reality. But obviously we're talking about somebody who perpetually has this a room full of great guys, but it's always the ones that are not so great that are coming over. And perhaps you think it's probably the way that I look or the way that I show up. Number one. Number two, it's very difficult to read the label from inside the bottle, okay? It's very difficult to see yourself or to see the picture when you're in the frame, as some people have said, but it's still the same thing. From inside ourselves, we cannot really see how we are showing up in the world. That's unless we have a mirror that kind of follows us, or somebody is videoing us as we go through life. We really don't know how we are showing up and what we are doing intuitively. So there are two things here that I want to point out, and I believe that these two reasons are going to be fundamental to really the answer to the question of why something is repetitive. When we have a pattern that repeats itself in our lives, it's usually indicative that there's something our subconscious mind is doing or feeding into our conscious mind, but we're not obviously conscious of it, and that messaging is creating a behavior, a signal, something that is calling and attracting this particular type of person into our life. Even if it is not our deepest desire for this person to talk to us, there is something that we are being and something that we are doing to attract them. Now, one of the things that we have to understand as women is that we're naturally wired to present and to signal. So a high value woman knows how to do that consciously, deliberately, and intentionally, but most women do it without even being intentional or conscious or deliberate. And because you're not conscious, intentional, or deliberate, you don't actually know that you are signaling these men into your life. You see, the thing is, you are sending out a homing beacon to these men, and that is why they come. Men often come by invitation. High quality men definitely come by invitation. But men by nature will approach where they feel intuitively they will be received. Okay, so there is a messaging you're sending to these men, right, that intuitively tells them that there will be a reception of some kind to them, and that even if you have the resting bitch face or you're looking some kind of way, there's still that intuitive signal. And we have to understand that when you are built a certain way subconsciously, the subconscious mind is 30,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. And so it is able to read even micro expressions, the tiniest of expressions. And we're actually making judgments on people by the most minute little details, and we are signaling each other sometimes without even knowing it. Every person that you end up talking to at the party, male or female, child or grown up, you are actually sending them a signal that they are welcome here, that there is an openness here. So I hear you say, no, Chengi, hell no, I am not sending that signal. No, you're not consciously sending that signal, but subconsciously you are. And with that subconscious, there are body movements, eye movements, physical movements that you are making that attract that man. If you're meeting them online and you're like, okay, they don't get to see me, you are signaling them with the pictures that you're putting up. You are signaling them with the words you're putting on. And above all, you are presenting yourself to them. So if you have seen my Flirt and Date Masterclass, where I talk about presenting and signaling in detail, feel free to go to my website, chengisworld.co.uk/shop, and download the Flirt and Date Masterclass if you want to really understand in depth what it is to signal and to present. Okay, when you are online, you are literally presenting, okay? You are presenting who you are, and you are doing that in a snapshot. The choice of pictures that you have chosen, when you could have chosen out of 100 pictures of yourself, you chose specific pictures. Your subconscious mind led you to choose specific pictures that will be read into by the predators, the narcissists, the losers, as this is my girl. This is the girl that will be receptive and available to me. Okay, so you have actually, without you knowing it, have actually selected, why those 10? Why not those other 10? Why not those other 10? Many of us have hundreds of photographs of ourselves, but we will select a certain type of photo because we want to present ourselves to our market, to the man that we want to speak to. And you are gonna, on dating apps, you're either gonna signal. So you're either gonna signal by swiping right, which is a match, signaling to the guy that, hey, I'm interested in having a conversation, or you're gonna send a little heart, or you're gonna send a little arrow, depending on the actual website. You are going to have, little signals that you're going to be sending online, and you are subconsciously sending those signals to that particular guy, right? And so you are not aware, but you are actually sending that signal. So, Chengi, thank you very much for letting me know that I'm actually responsible for why all of these inappropriate or bad catch guys are sort of coming to me when I really want something else. This is about, now, how do we fix it? We fix it by having clarity and insight into what's really going on within our minds. Okay, so we as people, as human beings, have an electromagnetic field. We have energy around us that can actually be measured, I believe, up to 6 feet. The Bible calls it spirit, and that the power of spirit, and people have spirits, and if you are into any sort of quantum physics or into metaphysics, you will also understand the concept of energy, and how energies and frequencies and vibrations are really what we communicate with first. They're really the first point of communication. And so those energies and those frequencies and those vibrations have to be generated from something. They just don't happen around you. They cannot be imposed in you. They have to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is in the mind, which sends out the electric part of the electromagnetic field, and the heart, which sends out the magnetic part of the electromagnetic field. And so what we think and what we feel, put them together and they create our field. And so what we need to do is really begin to do an inner work and inner searching into our thoughts. Okay, now you're thinking, my thoughts are thinking, I need me a hot rich guy who's just fantastic and loves me and thinks the world of me. I know that's what you're thinking. But actually, when we're talking about thoughts, we're talking about thoughts that exist within the subconscious mind, thoughts that you're not conscious of. We have conscious thought, and then we have subconscious thought. And because the subconscious mind is way more powerful than the conscious mind, we need to be able to extract information from the subconscious mind. And how the subconscious mind communicates the conscious mind is through patterns, through symbols, and through emotions. Okay, so we can begin to examine our emotional field and then work our way backward to understand. There are two things that are happening. Our beliefs remain in our subconscious mind, and what it is you need to examine your beliefs about love. Do you really want love? It seems like a really silly question, but if you were raised in a family where you have never seen it, you do not have a blueprint for two loving people together, if you do not have a blueprint of a mother or sister and aunt being in a happy relationship with a really attractive man, and this is not your blueprint, but you've seen women settle, you've seen women struggle in relationships, then you are naturally gonna have a belief within your subconscious mind that is that I can never have what I want. I've had women say to me, Chengi, actually, when we have this conversation on a one-to-one call, they're part of my clients, they're like, I never actually like or go for the men I fancy. I always go for the men that I don't quite fancy. And when we begin to do the work with them, and I begin to do the work with them, when my coaches do the work with them, we realize that they actually do that because they don't want to be rejected by the guy that they want. Because if the guy I really, really want says he doesn't want me, then that's more devastating than me going for a guy that I know I'm dating down. I'm really just, picking low-hanging fruit. I know he's gonna like me. I'm not gonna feel so rejected because the chances of him liking me and going with me is so much better than me really going up there. And so we have issues of fear. We have a narrative running in our subconscious mind. Now there's so much more to this that I would love to get into with you. And so this is why I have created the Emotional Mastery Masterclass. And we're gonna go even more in depth to let you know what is going on underneath. This is on the 17th of April 2021, because I have no idea when you're going to be watching this video. If you're watching it prior, the link to booking your seat on the masterclass is going to be in the description link below, just after you've got yourself done with the survey. And if you're watching it after the 17th of April, you'll be able to download the replay from my website. Of course, you will miss out on the conversations and the back and forth, but you will be able to interact with me in other ways by booking a call, and we can talk through your particular issue. Always here to help, ladies. But what I do want you to know is that there is a thought that is running in the back of your mind. So we need to really sit down with ourselves and ask ourselves, what am I thinking and what am I feeling? What am I feeling about what I deserve and what I'm worthy of? Because if we sit down with ourselves in solitude and in the now moment, in a time of really of good reflection, and we sit down without a critical mind, we will realize that actually we are signaling them because we truly believe that we don't deserve love, and we're afraid of love, because if we find it, then who are we? See, so much of who we are and our identity sometimes is connected to our struggle, sometimes is connected to rejection, and we don't know how to be loved, and we don't know how to receive love, and that goes deeply into the emotional realm. So it's emotional mastery, really coming to a place of self-awareness and really asking ourselves the difficult and deep questions is really how we migrate and move forward and begin to attract more of what we want and less of what we want. I wish there were like, do this step and do that step and you're going to deal with it. But I do want you to know that it is a process. It doesn't have to take forever, but it is a process to dig into the deeper recesses of your mind and really begin to understand the stories you're telling yourself. And so a lot of the girls who do the affirmations, again, that you can download on my website, they begin to report that they're starting to attract more high value men into their lives, because that work of affirmations does help the conscious mind, and if you do it long enough, it begins to shape the way you feel and think. So the idea here is to understand that you are causing this attraction mechanism to come into your life. You are bringing it, you're inviting it into your life, and you're inviting it by the thoughts that you think and things, and as a result what you feel, and adding feeling to a thought gives it so much potency that you are actually attracting it. So the good news is that you can actually begin to change the way that you think and change the feeling that you associate with it, and it will begin to change your results, and you're going to find yourself in a situation where you just seem to attract the best guys and the most amazing guys. And this is to do with really mastering your mind and mastering your emotions. So do get yourself either the download copy of the Emotional Mastery Masterclass or the Be On That Live call, because I'd love to have you, again, details below. I really hope that this helps you some way in part to begin to understand why it's happening. It's not happening because you're unattractive. It's not happening because you have a sign on your forehead saying losers here please, don't go any further. You don't necessarily have anything that you are consciously doing wrong, but they are things that you can begin to work on. And this is why I've also created the Soulmate Attraction System course, because the Soulmate Attraction System course helps you to go into your insides and begin to ask yourself questions perhaps that you've never asked yourself. And when you can do this with self-study or with the assistance of a coach, I am making all of the answers available. I'd love to give you even more and more information, but we would be here forever, and I have to keep this video short. Of course, if you would like more help, more understanding, do not hesitate to contact me. Again, details in the description, link below. I'll be more than happy to have a one-to-one chat with you and really get to your psyche and explain to you what's actually going on, so that you can begin to attract more of the men you want and less of the ones you don't want. I look forward to seeing you on my next video, and in the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots. Bye.